Cool. Hey, this is Ricky with PopCults.com, and I'm here with Toby Proctor. Most of you may know him as Darien or Tuxedo Mask from
Hey guys.
Sailor Moon.
How you doing? Man?
I'm pretty good. How about you? Nice to meet you. I've been a big fan. She actually had a crush on your character.
Come on now.
Of course.
That's okay. You're allowed. It's just TV.
Yeah, but it was kind of weird because they're all teenagers. So it's like,
Yeah, I get it. I do get that a lot though. I think that's part and parcel of playing that kind of love interest of a show.
Yeah.
I don't do that on camera, but definitely for voice, I'll take it.
Yeah. Now, how was the experience working on the show?
Well, I mean, first of all, this is amazing that I talked to you 20 years later. I had done this show when I was about 22 years old, and now I have been given the good grace of coming to Anime Expo here in Los Angeles, and for a show that I did 20 years ago. So obviously the experience is overwhelming. Through the years, I've had nothing but great feedback, and the Sailor Moon fans are so strong. Like, it's everywhere we land, and if we go to a new city, every time there's literally thousands of people waiting to meet us, and that never gets old, because I mean you'd be a jerk to expect that to happen. You know what I mean?
Right. But I mean, the anime itself was such a phenomenal anime because it came at a time where there wasn't really anything kind of pushing anime towards a wider audience.
Well, I think we've been told that we were, if not the first, one of the first to hit North America and really make anime mainstream. I mean, that is the thing. And I mean, I have met so many animators today who now are professional artists, and they say that our show was the show that got them not only watching anime, but starting to draw and making their career off of it. And that I mean, not that I made Sailor Moon, but the fact that I was any part of that is really humbling, because that's changing lives. I know it's just entertainment, but people really do seek that when they need something.
No, they bond to it.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about being an entertainer, is that you can reach out to someone, maybe not directly, but in a physical way. You connect with them.
Yeah.
And they can attach themselves to the character, to the series, and they just form this love.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it too is we're going back to people's childhood. We did have older fans from the beginning. I mean, when I first did the show, there was 28-year-old women, men who had seen the show as well and who were good fans. But for the most part, a lot of these people were either high school or grade school, or even younger. And now they've grown up, and now they even have kids. So there's this like layer cake of people who watch this thing, and it's not going away. Like, I understand that it is 20 years old, but it's locked in pop culture. Like you look out there, and there's Sailor Moon people all over the place, and that's not going to end tomorrow. And so for me, it's really neat to think that something that I was a part of somehow has that type of longevity, because it's just awesome.
It's funny that you say that, because the day after tomorrow, it's going to start a whole new saga.
That's right, and I think it's a saga that has been needed to be done. For our version, there was a lot cut out, and it had a lot to do with the censorship rules way back when. And the society may have not been ready, or they were ready, but they just didn't want to push those limits. But I think the real Sailor Moon story should be told, and I am just like the fans out there. I want to see it. I think it's amazing. I don't believe I'm going to be voicing it all, so
that's a shame.
I would love it. Honestly, I would give my left arm for it, but
go to the forums, fans. Get this guy to be Darien again.
I do it. Hey, meatball heads, put me back on the show. So what can I say? But really, whoever does get to do it, I mean, if it was me, I would be jumping up in joy. But for whoever does get to carry that torch, it's something that I've carried around in my life for almost 20 years, and it's an honor, because there are so many like diehard hardcore fans, and it's amazing.
Well, just going on the line out there, I mean, you just see like almost every fifth character that you saw out there cosplay was Sailor Moon related, or an amalgamation of Sailor Moon crossed with something else. But it really attracted a lot of people, and it was a phenomenon. Way beyond what anybody else thought it would be.
From what I hear from the reboot and what is going on with the new designs and stuff, is the stock is rising. I mean, people are talking about Sailor Moon, like they have never really stopped about it, but they are definitely talking more about it. I know there's places like Hot Topic that are selling T-shirts and doing this all of a sudden, and that's like that can only mean good things, for the brand and whatever. But for me, I'm just happy that people still attach to it, and that it's still something that's current.
Yes. Like I'm happy, her and I, we have 3 kids.
Right.
When Sailor Moon first aired, I was just out of high school, and I was just like, I was a huge anime fan. I was kind of dropping off because there wasn't anything, and Sailor Moon came along, and I was like, just pulled me right back in.
Yeah.
And now we have our kids; they're growing up, and it's going to be fun to show them Sailor Moon because they've seen all the
And
old
how
stuff.
old are your
that we
kids?
have. They're going to be actually going to be 8, 7, and 6.
Cool.
So
Because I have 5, 3, and 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you know, it's a similar thing to you. I've just started letting my 2 daughters start to see Sailor Moon, and it's really awesome because immediately they're running around the house singing the theme song, and that's not something I push, you know. And then they have a little Sailor Moon plush, or a Tuxedo Mask plush doll, and they're like, "How does he sound again?" Like, "Hey, meatballhead," and then they go around and screaming that. And
see, that's cool because now Daddy can do the voice.
That's
I can't
right.
really do that.
Well, for a while when I first said I was in a cartoon, they didn't know what I meant. You know, it was
Yeah.
like, well, what do you mean? It's a cartoon. But now it's interesting because, like we said, the families, there's a whole layer that's coming up, and like when we go to these conventions, and pretty much anywhere, they're like 5 and 6-year-old brand new fans wearing like Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars costumes, and they know what it is, and they know who I am, and that's freaky. Because they should know me. You know what I mean?
You're like, well, there's a generation gap here where that shouldn't be there.
I'm like King Tut over here to them, basically. You know, I'm way past there. Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool.
Now, you know, I don't want to get away from Sailor Moon because it's a big thing, but what other projects do you have going on right now?
You know, right now, actually, there was a film called Leafy. It was a Korean animated feature that I just revoiced. They just changed the title to Daisy, A Hen in the Wild. And I play the lead duck in it. It's like a mallard duck. I play a guy named Willie. And it was awesome. It was kind of cool to do something else. It was like, you know, the typical teenager who doesn't really want to take, you know, direction from his mom and dad kind of thing. And he knows better, that kind of thing, as a coming of age story. So it was really cute. So I've been doing that, and you know, I have a few other. There's actually a few films in the process that I can't really talk about, more on camera. But hopefully at a later date I can speak about them. And the last 5 years of my life, I've actually been behind the camera. I was working in casting and helping cast commercials in Canada and do like directing commercial sessions and stuff. And it was a very cool thing. I mostly did it just to give me some semblance of security with my new kids. Because you know how acting can be kind of all over the place.
Yes.
So I needed a little bit of a platform for a second, and now I feel like I've done that, and I just recently left casting, and I'm going back into full-time performance again.
Okay.
So it's good because I'm thirsty. You know, it's like a fire. You can only cage it for so long. So.
Right. You gotta get out there and you gotta get out and do your craft.
So, and I mean, this is a heck of a start because look behind us. It's it really doesn't get better than that.
This is the biggest crap I've ever seen here.
Yeah, I know.
I've been going to this thing for almost 20 years myself.
You know, if I could just get $5 from these people, I'd have to.
I'll get an autograph table.
Yeah, exactly. Hooray! Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was great talking to you. Actually, great meeting you for the first time. I mean, I've been a huge fan for a long time.
Thanks, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You were also Tackleberry?
I was. I played. Yeah, in Police Academy, the series.
Yes.
It was a Warner Brothers thing. It was shot in Vancouver, but it was actually Warner Brothers here. Yeah, I played Tackleberry. They shaved my head all bald, and I got to run around with, you know, guns and stuff. And it was awesome. It was like 26 1-hours that I got to shoot, and it was amazing. And I got to come down here and do press junkets and stuff at Warner Brothers. So it was neat to have that.
Because I remember that's when I remember the first time I remember hearing your voice. And
oh no way!
Yeah, because my dad was a huge Police Academy fan, and he would buy me the bootleg VHS.
No way! Sorry, I don't tell anybody you got that. Yeah, so you know, it's I was very lucky with that one because that was a good one. But that was actually ideally what took me out of doing Sailor Moon because I had just done the first 2 seasons of Sailor Moon, and then I got called to do the Warner Brothers thing for Police Academy, and our schedules couldn't mix because Sailor Moon is in Toronto, Warner Brothers or the Police Academy is in Vancouver. And we couldn't make it work, and it really sucked because I didn't want to leave Tuxedo Mask. It was my to date it still is my favorite role, but we just couldn't make it work. So you know, plus and minus. It was.
But it's still cool that many people associate you with Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah, well, I think because as the first 2 seasons, I was the first serving of it basically, so it's hard to forget that, I guess. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
First class.
I got you. Ricky, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for your time. And this is Ricky with Toby Proctor, popcults.com.
He's good.